What's going on, y'all? It's Jody Pickell with On 3. Today on the Hard Count, we're going to take a pulse of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Welcome into the Hard Count, the people's show for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. It happens here on a daily basis. Nick Brake doing the heavy lifting. You can help drive the show by subscribing to the channel. Now, the Pulse of the Program series continues today as we put our two fingers on the wrist of the Fighting Irish program. We're going to tell you the internal pulse. Everybody that's actually making it happen on Saturday is going to take a pulse of the fan base. What's the buzz around the program? The fans, what's the feel internally there? And then I'm going to tell you what I think the absolute worst case scenario is for Notre Dame. Wins and losses. If everything goes to the Dogs, how do the Irish finish the season? Okay, so internally, let's set the scene a little bit. Brian Kelly was the head coach there for what feels like forever. Him and his family, accent snuck up there. Him and his family go to Baton Rouge, now the head coach of the LSU Tigers. So Notre Dame, they say, okay, we're actually not even going to name an interim head coach. Everyone kind of pauses and stammers, and a hush falls over the crowd. And they drop the mic and say, we're going to name a permanent head coach. Marcus Freeman, you're the guy. Here's the keys to the kingdom. And so internally, looking at this roster, they were thinking before, oh, man, might be a rebuild defensively. We're losing some guys. I don't know how we're going to look on that side of the football. And then Brandon Joseph ends up getting added to your secondary from Northwestern via the portal. Huge get. Isaiah Foskey, he says, you know what? Let's run that back. I'm coming back for another year. And so now you're looking at this roster and saying, golly, this might be the strength of our football team. We might need to lean on the defense come this fall. And so that's what they're feeling about the defensive side of the ball. They really like what they have. They like the experience. They like the talent. They think that's going to be the bell cow for them. Now you look offensively, they got Tyler Buchner playing quarterback. He's not Jack Cohn. He's a dual threat. He's a really good athlete. They're going to incorporate him in the run game a little bit to allow him to get going. Got a really strong offensive line. They're going to run behind them. And they got Michael Mayer, who's an all-American kind of tight end. He's going to be a stud for them yet again this coming season. Expect him to be a high draft pick when that time comes. Now, in terms of playmakers, in-house, they like what they have. They like the talent level. However, they're just not necessarily, they haven't proven it yet on Saturdays. They're ready for them to prove it, but they understand it might be a calibration period. So defensively, going to lead the charge. Offensively, we got some guys. Michael Mayer's a stud, breaking in a new quarterback. We'll see what happens there. We're going to figure it out, but it might just take a second and a half for us to get this ball rolling. Now, in terms of the fan base, they are fired up. Marcus Freeman has done just about everything right when it comes to being the new head coach of Notre Dame. The recruiting trail has been, the yellow brick road for the Irish as of late. They have crushed it there. The biggest sentiment that I've gathered from Marcus Freeman's early few months as the head coach of Notre Dame, he's making Notre Dame cool again. Like, look at all the things he's done that have gotten this fan base excited. The whole Irish wear green thing, where Notre Dame would never wear green jerseys when they would do the Irish wear green thing, but they'd expect the fan base to wear green. Marcus Freeman says, that makes no sense. We're going to wear green on Irish wear green day. Love it. Also, they do the cool unveiling of the uniforms with the hangover video. That thing could have won an Academy Award. That got me fired up for the jerseys they're going to wear against BYU in Las Vegas, October 8th. That got all the buzz in the world on social media. And then look at the recruiting pictures they've done, too. It's not your old stuffy Notre Dame. They're taking pictures on, gold thrones and having some swag about themselves. Bringing back game day masks, incorporating alumni that didn't play for Brian Kelly as well as the ones that did, which is a new thing. There's a lot more buy-in from this fan base now. They are very much excited about what Marcus Freeman is bringing to the table. Now, the schedule is not kind to Notre Dame. They have a date with Ohio State to start the year. They have Clemson and USC on the schedule. They also have North Carolina, Stanford, and BYU, all formidable opponents. And so if everything just goes horribly, horribly wrong, like Notre Dame just blunders and stumbles and fumbles, all that, the very worst case scenario for me is 4 losses for Notre Dame, which is still really solid. There's a lot of programs out there that would do horrific things for an 8-4 record. I think potentially, let's just say you lose to Ohio State, Clemson, and USC, maybe there's a world where you stumble against one of those 3 teams in North Carolina, Stanford, or BYU. But I cannot imagine a world where they lose more than 4 games, which in the first year for Marcus Freeman, that is really solid. Like I said, a lot of teams would trade you their left arm and their kicker for an 8-win season. So for Notre Dame, the future is bright. I think 8 wins is the floor. The ceiling, realistically, is 9-10 wins. A lot of it, to me, rests on what they can do offensively at the quarterback position. That'll be the key variable. But ultimately, in-house, internally, they're excited about that defense, feel like the offense has potential. The fan base is throwing a party. They love Marcus Freeman, ready to elect him president. Fall cannot get here soon enough for the folks in South Bend. That's it for us here on The Hard Count. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. We are surging towards 10,000 subscribers. That is all because of you. We want you along for the ride. We want you at this party. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.